The desert sun beat down on Fort Crestwood, Arizona, in the blistering summer of 2027, where dust clung to everything and the air buzzed with the grind of military life. Emily Harper stepped off a battered transport truck, her faded duffel bag slung over one shoulder, dark hair whipping in the dry wind. No patches, no medals, just a worn gray jacket and boots scuffed for miles of unseen roads. The recruits at the gate sized her up in seconds, their smirks sharp as knives. "Lost your way, darling," a stocky soldier with a crew cut sneered, adjusting his rifle. "Civilian check-ins that way." Snickers rippled through the line, but Emily didn't blink. She handed her ID to the sergeant, who barely glanced at it before tossing it back. "Mess hall duty," he barked, loud enough for everyone to hear. She pocketed the ID, her fingers brushing the strap of her bag, and walked toward the barracks without a word. The base was a hive of noise, boots crunching gravel, shouted orders, the clatter of gear. Emily moved through it like a ghost, unnoticed unless someone needed a target for their boredom. At the assignment board, her name sat at the bottom. Harper, Emily Logistics, Kitchen. A group of recruits burst out laughing. "Guess they need someone to chop onions," a wiry guy with a cocky grin said. A woman with a tight ponytail chimed in, "Hope she's better with a spatula than a rifle." Emily stood nearby, reading the board, her face blank. She shifted her weight and headed to the supply shed she'd been told to scrub, ignoring the jeers trailing her. In a mess hall that night, the air was thick with chatter and the clink of trays. Emily sat alone, her food untouched, scribbling in a small notebook. Supply counts, precise and neat. A table over, recruits didn't bother whispering. "Writing a recipe book?" a burly soldier mocked, his laugh cutting through the din. "Bet she's here to fetch coffee," another added, her fake smile glinting. Emily's pen paused, then moved again. She closed the notebook deliberately, her eyes flicking to the woman, who faltered but didn't speak. The humiliation didn't stop there. At the armory days later, Emily stepped up to the weapon table, her hands still gritty from cleaning. She scanned the rows of standard M4s, then pointed at a sleek state Route 25 sniper rifle locked in a case, its barrel catching the light. The officer, a lean man with a permanent sneer, laughed. "That's not a toy, sweetheart," a bulky soldier nearby howled. "She wants a rifle, but probably can't even load it." The crowd went quiet, waiting for her to back down. Emily didn't. Her fingers stayed pointed, her gaze locked on the officer. "I fired that before you knew what a trigger was," she said, voice low but razor sharp. The officer blinked, thrown. Before anyone could react, Colonel Nathan Pierce, a weathered man with steel-gray eyes, stepped forward. "Give her the rifle," he said, his tone final. The armory fell silent as the officer fumbled the keys, handing her the state Route 25. Emily checked it in seconds, slung it over her shoulder, and walked out. The next morning, during a gear check, Emily knelt by a crate, logging ammo serials. Nearby, recruits mocked her. Counting bullets for the soup line, one jeered, a skinny kid with a smirk. But another, a tall guy with a nervous tic, caught a glimpse of her notebook, not inventory, but a detailed sketch of the base's perimeter, angles and distances in tiny script. He froze, backing away without a word. On a freezing dawn run, the drill instructor, a gruff man named Sergeant Walsh, singled her out at a rope climb. "Harper, move, or do you need a manicure first?" The recruits laughed, their breath clouding the air. Emily grabbed the rope, climbing with a fluid grace that silenced them. At the top, she glanced down at Walsh, her eyes steady, then descended with precision. The laughter died. Whispers followed her now. "Who is she?" a soldier muttered, clutching his rifle. "Some general's pet." Another scoffed, but the veterans watched her differently. They saw how she handled the state Route 25, her hands moving like it was part of her. A Scar Master sergeant murmured, "She's no rookie." During a night drill with live ammo, Emily was stuck as rear scudda, role no one wanted. "Keep her back," the team leader, a smug corporal named Ryan Holt, had said. When enemy silhouettes emerged in the dark, orders crackled. fall back. Emily didn't. Crouched low, her rifle steady, she fired once. The target dropped clean, a perfect shot through the dark. The team froze, radio silent. Holt hissed, "You were told to retreat." Emily slung her rifle and walked away, leaving a stunned whisper. That wasn't luck. The truth trickled out when Lieutenant Colonel Mark Evans found a redacted file. Harper, Emily, Unit 17, Shadow Strike. He confronted her by the motor pool, where she was checking a truck's oil. "Why are you here?" he asked. She wiped her hands, her voice soft. "They told me to vanish and wait. So I did." Evans stared, muttering, "Shadow Strike doesn't vanish." He kept it quiet, but the base was shifting. During a mock battle, Holt challenged her to lead a ragtag team with broken gear. "Let's see her fail," he sneered. Emily took a map, split her team, and outmaneuvered the enemy in minutes, her moves surgical. Colonel Pierce, watching the footage, grinned faintly. "That's not training. That's instinct." The final blow came when a Blackhawk landed, dust swirling. Emily stepped out, a major's insignia on her shoulder. The base snapped to attention. Pierce bowed slightly. "Welcome back, Commander." The recruits' faces burned with shame. At her first briefing, Emily set a faded photo on the Table 8 soldiers' Shadow Strike. She didn't explain. The truth spread. At 20, she'd saved her unit from an ambush, but the brass discharged her for acting without orders. Now Fort Crestwood was hers. Holt was reassigned to a desk job. Others faced quiet consequences. Emily didn't gloat. She led, her presence louder than words. Years later, soldiers told her story in hushed tones about the woman they'd mocked, the shot in the dark, the map that won the war. They'd shake their heads. "We had no idea." Emily Harper didn't need their apologies. She'd walk through fire and prove herself right every day. What do you think was Emily's silent strength or a shield? Should she have fought back harder against the mockery, or was her way the only way to win? Drop your thoughts below, hit like, and subscribe for more stories that hit hard and make you think.